Hello and welcome to my channel CaitMakes, the channel where I make things. Today I am remaking a Sabrina Carpenter dress from her song Espresso. Please raise your hand in the comments if you have also been victimized by the song Espresso. If you are also listening to it daily. Because I've listened to it so many times, this photo here has found some real estate in my brain and I want to remake this dress. At first glance, it's kind of a basic dress, but I think it's kind of iconic. I feel like this dress kind of sits in the same category as like a little black dress. It's just a dress you could wear for a lot of different occasions and look amazing in it. If I look anything like she does in it, I think I will feel amazing in it, which is always the goal with these things. And yeah, I think it will be fairly simple too, so if you also want to give this a go, I think you could totally do it. And I think it's just the girl state of mind currently that none of us would mind looking like Sabrina Carpenter right now. If it's not the abs, then it's the hair or the outfit or the music. I mean, she's just kind of a girl crush. I don't know how else to say it really. If you would like to see me recreate this dress, turn myself into Sabrina Carpenter a little bit, if you will, and if maybe you'd like to do the same, you're in the right place. So let's see how making this dress goes. The pattern looks really beginner friendly too. So I really think this is going to be a beginner friendly make, which is mostly what I try to do on this channel. I like to share patterns and makes that are super beginner friendly because that's what I was always looking for on YouTube. It's what I still look for on YouTube. Because even if you're not a beginner, it means it's going to be a little quick and easy, which never hurts. Never a bad idea. So comment down below if you also love Sabrina Carpenter, if you also love the Espresso song, or if you would also wear this dress. I don't think this is just a me thing, but I would like some reassurance that I'm not the only one obsessing over here. So anyway, let's get into this project. Okay, so first things first, I have already cut out all of my fabric here, so I'll probably show this photo a lot throughout, but remember this is what we're going for here. So I found some blue jean material and some white jean material. The pattern that I'm using is by Kiana Bonolo. I got it off of Etsy. She's also a YouTuber. Go check out her channel. She's great. I always love her creations and I've used at least one of her other patterns before and it was great. So I'm excited to try this one out. This is my first time using this pattern. This pattern is called the Strapless Mini Dress and Corset pattern by her, and it's basically the exact silhouette that I need. I think it might be a little bit loose through the skirt. I might end up taking that in so that it's more of a bodycon, but we'll see how it ends up fitting. It's always easier to take things in than to add more fabric, so I'm not worried about it. But I'm definitely using this pattern as the base. It already has the separate like flap at the top, which will be where the white jean part of Sabrina Carpenter's dress is, and then the rest of it I'll be doing in the blue denim. So yeah, that's the pattern we're using. I also will say that it was a super quick one to print out and put together, which is always like half the struggle with the PDF patterns. This one was so simple. Thank you, Kiana Bonolo, for making it so easy. I didn't have to trim down any of the papers. You just fit them together as a whole. The time that this saved me, I'm sure that making them like this is more complicated or something, but Kiana, please share your secrets with the rest of the PDF sewing community because this was so nice and so much easier. So highly recommend it for that reason also, even before making it. So yeah, now all that's left is to start actually sewing it. The goal with this dress is to reach walked in and dream came true for you levels. So we'll see if we get there. And yeah, I am probably also going to play the song while making it because there's no way I can think about that song all day and not also listen to it. I wish I could play it for you also, but you know, YouTube copyright issues. So anywho, let's get to sewing. I now have the whole bodice portion put together and I have everything serged and it has taken no time at all. So very happy about this. And then the skirt is really similar. It's also just a bunch of panels to sew straight lines down. So I went ahead and serged all of the vertical edges and I'm just going to start putting these little puzzle pieces together here, and then I will have a skirt. So yeah, super easy so far. Very excited about that. and I did not do a toile or anything as usual. So I am glad that upon like stretching it over what I'm wearing, I think it's going to fit perfectly. Fingers crossed. So now working on the skirt, we'll keep you posted. Okay, so my bodice and my skirt are together. I went ahead and hemmed the bottom of the skirt as well. I just did a rolled hem and I think it looks really nice. I was just giving my reference photo another gander here, and it looks like they did top stitching on all of the seams, so I am going to do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and press the seam allowance like towards the outside, and then I'll do my top stitching to kind of sew that down so that it sits in that direction. In the photo, I feel like it looks like a little bit raised, almost like a corset. So I think that that method will give it that same look. It's kind of like if you do a corset, it's like where you put boning in, but in the photos, it looks super, super thin, more like a jean detail. And yeah, I think that this will work. So I'm going to go about it that way. I'm going to go ahead and do all the top stitching on the bodice and then on the skirt before I connect these two. And then I also want to serge the top and bottom edges. But yeah, I think that's going to make it look the same and should give it a nice finish. From the reference photo, I can definitely tell that they did blue top stitching and didn't do any contrast thread. So I'm going to do that same thing. They did use blue thread on the white part as well, so I'm going to make sure to add that detail. I will check back in with you soon. So crazy close to finishing this dress. This is such an easy pattern. I definitely could have finished it in one day. I started kind of late and then it got dark and it's just not the best for filming. So finishing off the last little bit of it this morning. All that's left is to do the white parts of this dress, the upper neck portion. This is the flap that goes over, and then I cut out the facing in white as well. This I need to serge really fast. Somehow I missed this one in my little serging spree. And yeah, then I just need to attach this neckline. Then I'm going to do some blue top stitching to make it look like the reference photo. And then I just have some finishing touches to do the zipper. I didn't finish off the end quite yet. Let's get this neck finished off first. So we're on our last steps for the neckline here. I have the neckline material sewn on, and then I just did the facing on top of that. Now, in order to get everything to lay correctly, I need to put the facing toward the inside of the bodice, and I'm basically going to be sewing it to the seam allowance here. I am going to do the kind of annoying process of switching out my thread. I'm going to switch it all out to be white really fast just for this top stitching on the inside, just in case it slips up at any point. Basically, the whole point of doing the top stitching is to make sure that this doesn't slip up, but I just feel like it's safer to do it in white, and then I'll do the like decorative top stitching that's going to match the original photo right here in blue. So luckily I think I already have a white bobbin, but we're gonna check now. Yes, I already have a white bobbin in here. That saves so much time and effort. So before I do the dress reveal, I'm going to do a little get ready with me. I'm going to try to replicate Sabrina Carpenter's look here. So I'm going to go with the makeup and hair as much as possible. I have short hair, so you know, the bangs are kind of as close as I'm going to get here. But her makeup is always beautiful, and I'll, you know, remind you in this photo, this is kind of what it looks like. Pretty much her typical look, a lot of blush, very glowy, a little bit on the glam side, but like fairly natural. So yeah, shouldn't be too difficult, but I thought I would bring you along in case you're interested. I love playing with makeup and hair and stuff too, so why not share it with you guys since I'm doing it anyway. Went ahead and put a little bit of base on. This is the base I use. I absolutely love It Cosmetics CC Cream. This is very well used, as you can see, but I also have it in a dark shade, and this is what I use for my contour and bronzer. But yeah, absolutely love this stuff. It sits on my skin so much better than anything else. And now I'm going to start with the blush, just in case things go badly. I can kind of wipe everything off and start over. I'm not going to do anything else before that, because the blush I'm going to go pretty strong because that's how it looks in the photo. And I feel like photo makeup is always a little bit stronger than you would do just like for a regular day anyway. So I'm going to go pretty heavy on the blush. We will see how it goes. I have some liquid blush that's the Iconic London. I feel like this is what her blush looks like to me. However, I don't think that this is going to be strong enough. I might start with this as a base, but I think I'm probably going to have to add my brighter blush on top of it, which is a powder. That's the right placement, but even when I put more of this on, this is really like as dark as this blush gets on me. I think it's just a little bit light. It's nice for a natural look, but I don't think that is going to cut it for Miss Sabrina's look. I have a MAC blush here that is too old and too used to even tell what shade it is, so that is very unhelpful. I love this. It's a really peachy tone. And I think once I add my concealer in, it'll, you know, make it a little less pink right here, because that looks a little bit silly. Okay, so I did take one more look, and I think that I went a little too crazy with the pink blush right here. I think on the nose and in general, everywhere else is good. But so yeah, now I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm going to kind of cover up quite a bit of what I did in this inner part of my eye. Looking at the photo again, I feel like, yeah, she didn't go quite as high as what I remember. So I'm going to do that, and then I think I'll go ahead and start on the eye, which is like a white and pink look. My favorite concealer is this Tarte Shape Tape in Creamy. Okay, so now concealer's on. I think adding more concealer in this area really helped to make it look a little bit more like hers. I am going to go in with a little bit of contour now to really like carve out cheekbones and yeah, just make it look a little bit more like hers. And now for the glowiness of this photo, I'm going to use the Beauty Light wand from Charlotte Tilbury. This is in the color Spotlight, and I think it should work great. I think my blush is looking too dark, especially when I added like a little bit of contour. Hers is a really light, like cool pink, so I have a lighter, cooler pink that doesn't usually look as good on my skin tone. I typically do better with like warmer, more orangey tones, but we're trying to replicate, so I'm going to try to put some of this on top and see if it looks a little bit more like hers. Okay, now I'm going to work on the eyeshadow, which looks like it's mostly a really light pink, white, all across the lid and in the inner part, and then on the corners it has a pink like pop. Very old Too Faced palette with In the Buff, which I think will work great. And I am using Dynamo by MAC. yeah, for this I'm really just doing like a kind of V shape on the outside of my eye. Part of this is because I have slightly hooded eyes, so that just usually works a little better for my eye shape to get the kind of smoky look where you're just getting it on, you know, those outer corners. I do feel like she has an even darker bit, like kind of right where your winged eyeliner would go. So let me see if I have an even darker pink. I have an old Stila set that has a darker shade. Okay, and then I think I'm going to bring some of that down below also. I'm going to do a little bit of the lighter also. Okay, I think that's as similar as I can get my eyes. She has much different eye shape than I do. The thing we do have in common is bushy brows. This is the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Filler. I really like this stuff because it's like the softest brow gel I've found that still makes them stay in place and still gives them a little extra something, but doesn't make it feel like your brows have hair gel in them. I really hate that feeling. And then yeah, the tint is really nice also. Like I can use it to kind of draw if I want with the tip of the brush, like where I need it to be filled in a little bit, but for the most part it's pretty subtle. It just, you know, does a nice subtle fill. I have tried so many expensive mascaras and I always come back to CoverGirl. I love this primer, especially if you put this on before any mascara, it's just going to make it so much better. This stuff works great, but I use it with the very black CoverGirl Lash Blast. With the primer, you have to kind of let it set for a second before you add something else to it. I usually do the white mascara and then my brows and then this, but I got distracted today. Her lipstick is also pretty similar to how I usually like to do mine. So she just has a nice, like, you know, slightly darker than her lip tone liner and a little bit of color in the middle with some gloss. So should be pretty simple. I'm gonna overline a little bit since her lips are a bit poutier than mine. This is basically the cheap version of the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk in my opinion. This is a Rimmel London number 760 903 Nude, something like that. I really like the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, but this is pretty much the same. And then to get a little extra poutiness, I like to do the liner on the outsides of my lips also, and leave the inside. It just kind of gives you the illusion of your lip being poutier. And then I'll probably just put some gloss on top. I don't really need to put color in the middle so much because it'll kind of blend. The liner will kind of do that for me when I put the gloss on. Kind of smears together. That looks like hers. Now time for some mascara. It looks like she has hers done really lightly and then mostly on the outer tips. I'm tempted to do like some false lashes just on the ends because I feel like that's how she accomplishes that look. But I think I might just do my mascara. Not exactly cosplaying her. I just want it to be similar while still being me. I'm trying to focus my mascara more towards the outsides and try and keep the inner part a little lighter. My makeup used to always disappear from my face. I've always had a really hard time getting makeup to stay. This stuff helps me a lot. The Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1. Awesome setting spray. Before I get ready, maybe the quick look of her photo versus mine. The lighting here isn't great, so anyway, hope this was fun. This is my take on her makeup look. Obviously our faces are very different, but I think this is the gist. This is just my hair blow dried with a round blow dryer. So I'm gonna go finagle this a little bit more to make it look a little bit like hers as much as possible with my very short hair. And then it will be time for the reveal. So I hope you enjoyed this little, you know, turn myself into Sabrina Carpenter. Get ready with me. Here is the final look. Okay, here is my final result of making the Espresso Sabrina Carpenter dress. This was such a fun project to make. I absolutely love jamming out to Sabrina Carpenter music while I made her dress. I will absolutely be wearing this a ton. It's so comfortable. This is my first time working with denim, and this will not be the last time because it's so fun to use. It was such an easy fabric to work with. As far as notes, I was going back and forth from her photos wondering if it was a corset top or if it was just tight. I decided to just make it tight, and I think after like moving around in this and trying to take photos that hers definitely had like some boning or some sort of structure that made it a little stiffer in the top so that it doesn't wrinkle so much. That being said, this way does make it much more comfortable and more wearable, so not too upset, but I think if I wanted to make it really like perfectly like hers was, I think I probably could have made this more of a corset kind of top. But yeah, I love it. I hope you enjoyed watching me make this fun little project. I hope you now go and listen to Espresso and just have a wonderful day. I hope the sun is shining for you, and yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I would love to have you around here more often for more fun projects like this. I mainly do beginner-friendly sewing projects. This was definitely under that bill, just with a little fun sprinkle of making something that already existed. Let me know down in the comments if you would also make this dress, maybe not as a replica of Sabrina Carpenter, but this pattern, or if you also love the song Espresso. Chat with me down there. I would love to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.